contrasting my experience, jury service summons in California 2010s versus Washington State 2020s. Today's Wednesday, 20 May 2026 AD, and I'm Tanis, She/Her/Hers of Seattle. And if you're like, you just posted one of these on YouTube, one on this, but there was no sound. I realized after realized that I had gotten an Amber Alert. I'd been filming it and there was an Amber Alert. And so I had to stop filming because it interrupts the filming device. Then I started filming again because it got interrupted. And sometimes I have to do an audio check to turn the volume back on. So I'm hoping it's on this time because I got a pack of Pop-Tarts, raspberry Pop-Tarts I'm going to eat when I go through this. And so here I, Tanis, She/Her/Hers of Seattle, contrast my lived experience in terms of social context for jury duty, jury service summons level. As a resident of California in the 2010s decade, approximately 2015, 2016, I was approximately 23 years of age. Yeah, me, Tanis, She/Her/Hers of Seattle. Me, Tanis Gillespie, huh? She/Her/Hers of Seattle versus as a resident of Washington State in the 2020s decade, approximately 2026, approximately 33 years of age, which is the current me. Current edition of me. Current Tanis Gillespie edition of me. Something like that. All right. So focus on the social context of the lived experience of each. So in California, it was me and my office mates. And I was in a PhD program in geophysics at the University of California, Berkeley. And we each awaited our summons. A first year bonding of sorts. Yeah, it was we were adjusting to the program, to our work, to our research, to the school. And so it was like, who's gotten it? Who still has to get it? Because it was kind of well known that, like the first year, for our particular pipeline, after kind of transitioning residents and doing the corresponding paperwork, that we'd end up in the jury pool and summoned. So it was a good bonding exercise, if nothing else. And I had computational, condensed matter physics stuff. So I'm wearing my Tron Aries, supercomputing, computational physics stuff. I'm wearing this sweater and my Tanis Gillespie, There we go. Red and white of Northern Ireland. And then in Washington State, it was me, the critters, and business workers. And the critters help guide me where to go out and what movies to see. Yeah, so there's been a bit of, instead of having its own storyline in my bigger storyline, it's kind of been weaved by perhaps all of us in my navigating my retirement account stuff. Is, like these Pop-Tarts, which I bought with, that stuff's funds, that stuff's gets weaved in because, it's income that I made in California related to the first jury service. I came full circle. So, does this get me to attempting graduate school again? Was the approximately 10 to 11 year gap due to my graduate schooling? I don't think so. So others were called in multiple times. Being in graduate school was not an impediment to being called in for jury duty, from my lived experience. And so there we go. So this summons might be / could be an indicator I might be attempting graduate school degrees again. Perhaps then, a thank you is due to my University of Washington course in Near East Literature, Professor. Thank you, Professor. Maybe we'll get to eat Pop-Tarts together someday. That'd be fun. All right, so that's kind of the jury stuff. Now, I've been working for a few weeks on bonus, and making sure and sitting on it, like thinking on it, if it's the right one. So I've made it at least 1/2 step in each system. So juror of interest above the basic summoned in. There's been an escalation of intent by the corresponding judicial system, as well as an escalation of commitment above the basic summons in each state. For me, Tanis, She/Her/Hers of Seattle. For me, Tanis Gillespie. she, her, hers of Northern Ireland in some form or fashion. And then more bonus. Common juror fear, myself included. Going to prison because I serve on a jury and put away a really bad guy. Have I made, so next one. Have I made progress on thinking through what it would be like to be a menstruating woman on a jury? Yes. Take a change of bottoms, if possible. Blood stains do happen through my clothing to reach the outside / visible parts of clothing for that one. And I'll link it to the video description to this autobiography of Hillary Rodham Clinton. There was a debate about the time of my jury service summons in California. And she had to walk further or something like that to get to the women's restroom. And I'm like, it's like that, only with blood dripping down my legs or stained through my clothing because I'm menstruating. All right, and then two more. Would getting a military draft notice sting like getting these jury service notices? I go, Army, please, for the military draft. What was the jury analogy across both states? I go, yes, if a fit. So, like, yes to a military draft if it's the Army. Yes to a jury as long as I'm a fit, kind of thing. Which I've advanced enough in both systems to know or have trust in the system assessing whether I'm a good fit or not. Though perhaps I am more ready for the military draft notice in the sense of I had an entire playlist dedicated to the topic of military service in advance of the notice. I have not got it yet, but I do have a playlist. I am ready for war. And then last up, where does this all go? Do I serve on a jury for the trial on which Gary Ridgway is released from prison? Question mark. That goes back to my aforementioned fear. Like if I'm on a jury. Although that would be the other way, right? That'd be releasing Gary Ridgway. Watch Dave Reichardt and Gary Ridgway fight to get me not only on the jury, but to be like, I put her there. That might actually be kind of fun. Oh, wait. Thank you for joining me.